Heyo,
Happy Wednesday.
happy Wednesday.
That is
Happy hippity. Super excited to be here today. We have some good topics I think I'm really excited about.
for sure.
As always, the internet is alive with things going on. So I don't know about you, but the main thing that's been filling my feed has been actually the main thing we'll get to in a second, but the other than the most politically charged thing, the main thing that's been filling my feed is pictures from ChatGPT. Have you tried any pictures on ChatGPT?
I haven't tried it personally, but I've seen some prompts of people doing it, and it's kind of crazy. It
It's
shocks me how well it works.
It is so much better than it was before, or it seems like it is. And I've played with it a little bit, but the biggest thing I think they've really figured out the fingers thing. That problem seems to be resolved, where always the fingers always look so stupid. So that they did a much better job of that, and they're doing a much better job of like using images to create new images.
Yeah.
And that part is, I think, really cool too. So like I could put in pictures of me and get me as a superhero or whatever, stuff like that. And that kind of stuff was pretty cool. I thought pretty fun. And then I thought my favorite trend was like, imagine my cat as a person. Have you seen any of those?
No. Based on what you're saying, we've seen two totally opposite ends of the spectrum.
What have you seen?
Because I've seen everyone using it for headshots, for like birthday posts, like I have a good example. Let me try to share it here with you.
Yeah.
Because I think it's interesting. So the audio, okay. Oops. So let's go to the first photo. Can you make me, you can see this, yeah? Just want to confirm.
Yeah, I can see.
Okay. So can you make me professional pictures for my 27th birthday? Okay. I guess we don't really need the audio. We can just scroll through this. Microchromatic birthday cake with 27, pink short dress. Exactly like this picture, but with my face.
Wow.
And
dang,
if you go back, it doesn't click through very quickly. That's literally the face that it first generated.
Wow.
Yeah, so I thought it would be it's going to be interesting, at least to see how it's used in terms of like headshots. Like if you just have a decent photo, but like that, like, everyone's able to take decent photos. Everyone has, not everyone, but majority of people, someone or you yourself have a quality camera. I mean, the iPhone 16s are very quality cameras, but people don't have like the studio setting. So imagine you just upload the photo, you put it in a studio setting, you don't even need to go to a headshot photographer anymore. Yeah, it's probably still a little bit different, but if you're going to try to save on expenses, that's the first thing you're going to cut. If you can do it yourself, why not?
That's a good point.
But I think it's funny that you see all the ones of like making your cat into a person, and then mine are like headshots, very professional setting ones.
Yeah, I want to I'm gonna present just a quick this is some of the examples of turning your cat into a person. I thought we're good. So here you go. Okay, not bad. This one was funny, I thought. Seems accurate. But what I think honestly what's cool about this is that these look like real people. Like they don't look like for the first time in a long time, they don't look like they're, to me, like that uncanny valley of the pictures they figured out, whatever the robots have figured out how to like solve that problem, because they look so much better than they used to. And I mean, just the implications of it, we used to use Midjourney. Eventually, like Midjourney became kind of like, we were like, well, just the pictures generated didn't really solve all the problems we wanted. But like you said, now we can have, I just think like the application of this is like always what I wanted was to be able to take like a contractor and be able to put their team in the field.
Yeah,
that would be so sick. And I think we're basically
getting there. It's like you're merging two different elements of like the technology that we already have. Like you create the background and you can recognize the faces, but now they're able to merge the two together.
Mm-hmm.
Because up until this point, when you think about it, like the frustration, at least for me, like.
Oh, I lost you, Bailey. You froze in the world's least flattering position on maybe that's just for me. I don't know. All right. Well, I'm going to keep talking about ChatGPT pictures just in case I am live. All right. Well, yeah. So those ChatGPT pictures. Yeah. I think the implication of them all coming on and being able to use them in advertising is really exciting. What we always wanted with Midjourney, but never could really get there was this, like, being able to like put people in the most ideal position, put like people that are actually working for the companies that we're trying to advertise. We could never get like a roofing company's staff on the roof. That was always really difficult to do. And so we could do it, but then we have to come out there, we have to schedule with the homeowner, and you have to like organize all of that stuff. And so just the idea of like being able to get those pictures of like people in company shirts and stuff like that, without having to go through the labor of actually shooting photography is pretty awesome. So I'm excited about it. I think there's a lot of advertising implications. It's certainly like mostly being used as like fun type things at this point, but I think the practical applications are starting to become a lot easier to accomplish. And I think that's pretty cool. All right, let's go to the next section. Hopefully Bailey will be able to jump back on. I don't know what happened. All right, I will save the juicy one in case she's able to jump back in. Let me just check over here and see if she said anything. Oh, Wi-Fi went out. All right, well, there you go. So she'll be back on hopefully shortly. If not, I'm going to carry this thing on my own. All right. I wanted to talk about CapCut templates. I think coming across on my feed all the time, probably because I use them, are these CapCut templates. And I guess I'm a little bit curious. I was curious how Bailey felt about it, but I think that I'm starting to see, again, the practical application of that. The AI has finally like come around well enough where you can use these things in a way that, it used to be like you would have to fit right inside their perfect little templated box of content. Like if you weren't making one that fit perfectly with the message that the original template was trying to portray, then you couldn't use them. Or it was difficult to use them. You had to be kind of creative with them. And I think that now they're the practical application of them is a lot easier to see. The AI tool, for the most part, when you put in videos, it doesn't clip to the best part of the video, which I wish that was true, but it doesn't work like that yet. But it does add sync to the beat. And as long as you have the clips, kind of edited when you put it into the CapCut templates, I think they can be really valuable. Hey, yeah, no problem. I moved on from ChatGPT pictures.
That's all right. Didn't have much more to add to that.
I was talking about the templates, and I was curious what you thought about it, because I see them all the time in my feed. And my point was that when they first came out, I felt like the templates themselves were harder to use. Like if you weren't into exactly the same, like if you weren't going to deliver the exact same message that they imagined for the template, then it was really difficult to use. Now I feel like it's evolved where they're providing more. I feel like the robot is working better. The AI system or whatever is working better to like decide which parts of the video would be best. And they're also doing a better job of like clipping them up to the beat of the music, like picking songs that go with it just based on the type of content that you have. Like, for example, if I put like videos of my kids into the template, it will provide me like music that is more like family, like, kind of a la YouTube, free YouTube music, that kind of stuff. And then if I put in like weightlifting videos, it gives me like a lot of options for like I don't know, like disciplined David Goggins type stuff, like with that kind of stuff in the background. So it seems to like know what I'm
Like
uploading.
recognize, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's pretty
The
interesting and
theme,
cool.
yeah.
I think it's interesting and cool. And I think that, I mean, along the same line, like my phone is getting much better at generating videos with my photos and videos that I have. Like, again, back to like, you know, my kids, it'll send me like, here's
Yeah,
Lucille at a park in
yeah.
2018
I
or
love
something.
those videos.
Yeah, it's great. It's really, really cool. And I just think this is like a cool kind of interesting time where I feel like the AI, this is one of the, to me, is sort of like under discussed uses of these like robots that are they're enriching our lives. We don't even really realize it. I feel like it's kind of slowly happening, slow enough where it's like happening right under our nose, and we're not even considering how much this is influencing. Because anyways, my overall point was that these CapCut templates now in TikTok, I don't know if you've seen this, but I've seen it when I'm creating something. It will give me the option of using what is, I think, essentially just the same technology as the CapCut templates to create videos for me. It does it like when I come in, it's like, do you want to make a video about weightlifting or something? And it'll already have a couple of my videos in a template. Have you seen that?
I haven't. I go out.
Oh, dang. I think you're breaking up again a little bit.
Okay, it might stay, it might not. But if I'm still here, I don't really use CapCut all too much. I like I mentioned, I think in one of our prior meetings, I use it more in terms of just like a general editor, like a video editor for cropping. I think it has a bit more functions that I like rather than just what Instagram provide themselves. That's why I like CapCut. But I know that they do have a lot. Like sometimes I go on there for like inspiration, but I never actually use the templates themselves. I don't know why.
I've been trying to force myself to use them for the last couple of months, because I want that to work. I think like just in my mind, I feel like it should work and I want it to work. And so I've been trying to like see like, you know, I'll pop in and I'll use some of them. I like the ones where it's like a green screen. Those are like really easy. And I find funny jokes there. And, but I think like in general, I think there will be practical application of that, certainly for us. But on a social media content, you know, everyone hates making social media posts that we talk to, like, you know, the future clients and stuff. They're like, oh, I don't like it. I don't even want to do it or whatever. Which, you know, whether that's true or not is a different question. But they could save tons of time. And like, there's I guess a big hole in the market for a tool like this, where if it could figure out a way just to like see your, you know, kind of raw videos and know what in that video makes sense to turn into like a social media post. Because so often we find over and over again that what is needed is not, I would love for what is needed to be like great storytelling and like a nice hook and like all of these things. But the reality is like what is really needed is like your logo, a video of you doing some shit, and then, you know what I mean, the call to action. And you really don't have to like, in general, for like blanket kind of social media posts, a lot of people overthink it and they make it way too complicated, more complicated than it has to be. And so I think this could be a cool tool someday. All right. Now I'm excited for the juicy one. Is your Wi-Fi seeming good for now?
It seems good, but like, I don't know if you noticed, but up in our back end of the corner, there's it'll pop up Wi-Fi when it's like getting wonky. So it keeps going on and off. So we're good for right now, but.
Well, right now I don't get that, but that might be just because my internet's fine. But all right, so we're gonna talk about it, and hopefully I don't have to carry this one on my own.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding you. No, okay. So Bailey sent me this, and I thought it was really interesting. I think I have it pulled up already. I thought we would start by just watching the video, and that way everyone can be on the same page here. All right, you can see?
It's loading.
Okay.
There you go.
All right, sick. Let's do it. Oops, no, I'm not on it. There we go.
Do you have the sound on?
Oh, you don't hear it?
I don't hear it. Do you hear it?
Well, I hear it, but I wonder if that's
Oh.
maybe my StreamYard. Maybe I need to. It says it's on. All right. Well, I guess I apologize in advance to the live audience if they can't hear it. It seems like it's on from what I can see. So I wonder if it's your internet.
Maybe.
Let me see if there's any other place.
Did you hear mine earlier when I screen shared?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, then maybe it might just be my Wi-Fi then.
Okay, let's just do it. Let's go for it. Oops, I clicked away. Well, anyway, we got the point. The idea is essentially that the stock market jumping back from the tariffs decline was all influenced by a tweet, and because somebody had the good sense to troll with the last name Bloomberg, they knew that people would never look into who Walter Bloomberg is. That they were able to manipulate, the entire stock market and fool the entire world. And I think that it's a interesting time we are living in where where it is that easy. And I think if you had even looked at the rest of that person's tweets, which after you sent me that, I just was curious, like if they were good at this or what was their like kind of position. And they're just a troll. They're just like a regular troll. That Walter Bloomberg account is just a pure troll. So no one looked into this person at all. And invested in the stock market based on a literally only based on one viral tweet from Walter Bloomberg, not even a important Bloomberg, not attached to the family whatsoever.
So this reminds me a lot of, have you ever heard of the company Forex? I don't even know if they're still around.
No.
They were wildly popular amongst like new college grads, like right as COVID happened. And particularly at least here in Melbourne, because all of mine and Skylar's friends got into it. And it's essentially this group of people who, it's an MLM marketing pyramid. Yeah. So the first person gets in it, and then you have to sign on 10 people under you, and then you make part of their income from, because you brought them on. And basically what you do is you stay up until 3 a.m, and then at 3 a.m, you and 100,000 people who are all in Forex across the United States are all trading the same stocks. So obviously you're peaking the stocks, you're all buying and selling at the same time, you're manipulating the system, and it works because the stock market is easily manipulated. That's how it works. And a lot of people got into this, and then the personal stories that we heard on the outside was, if you ended up like making more money, and like if you went off and did like stocks on your own and didn't follow the exact Forex trends, you weren't allowed to collect that money out of the stock market. Like they would demand that money back from you. So like this was brought, me and Skylar have been talking about it, how like this just reminds us of Forex, and obviously because it's the stock market, but and you know, a lot when the GameStop, AMC stocks were happening, and they kind of halted you pulling out the money, and it's like, oh well, if you can make a lot of money, you would allow it, but when it's the average American making a lot of money, you won't allow it. Then you're putting sanctions on what's allowed and what's not. So it makes it very interesting.
Indeed.
It makes it seem fake, in my opinion. It seems fake. Like if you can manipulate the market over one tweet, that's insane.
And I think what's like sort of horrifying and a little bit scary is just the idea like of how many people just don't even read past, like they don't investigate at all. And I wonder if it's, I mean, I think that the people that have investments on the stock market are, you know, typically, I guess what I'm wondering is like, is it maybe older people that got fooled by this a lot? Or are we still like, I guess in my hope, it would be that like my generation and younger are more media literate.
They're not.
But that is what I was going to say is I fear that that's not the case, that it's like not. That we are just like, there is just so many people that do not read. They do not look into anything. They are completely influenced by whatever. I mean, like it's not even the full video. Like they won't even watch.
No. They won't even check the name who posted the account, because it'll be some like sad sob story reposted by some meme account, and people are like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm praying for you. And it's like, do you realize a meme account posted this? Like, this isn't the original creator. Like, you can't even double check that before you even comment on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we make fun of like boomers on Facebook, but my generation is just as bad with TikTok.
Like this account, like basically a I think it's this one. Yeah, when you look at him, I mean, it's just very obviously not. I'm looking at his account right now, and I mean, it's like very obviously not a news source. You know, I mean, like, I don't know. I guess like when I first looked, there was like ones with emojis in it and stuff. This mostly I'm seeing ones that do have like some information or whatever. But it doesn't. Just because someone makes a account on Twitter does not mean that it's a reputable. A reputable news source, you know, and I think that's where I guess I wish if I could like impart anything on the next generation, is that just to investigate even a little bit and make sure that everything you're getting is true, especially now that these ChatGPT pictures, you know, I mean, the idea, like I've been fooled a bunch of times by like I got fooled when the first time Trump was going up to getting arrested. There was a AI image of him like in cuffs, like breaking out of everything, and or you know, he was like trying to struggling, and they were like pulling him or something. And I saw it, and I was like, holy shit, this is like fucking crazy, you know. And I started like investigating it, but I, you know, again, I've been on the internet long enough to like make sure, you know, investigate the tiny bit, because I'm like, oh, I don't know, and then I'm like, oh, okay, this is just me getting fooled. And so, I mean, I get it. I get where everyone.
Because I mean, I bet you a bunch of tech bros went and saw that tweet, or one person saw it, screenshot it, and sent it to their firm, and were like, "Oh, bro, like, did you see this? Like, this hasn't been released yet. We got to be on top of this. Like, we got to be ahead of it, right? Like, you just take it and run with it."
And I get it with like right now at the current state of where everything was, you know, AI. You could mostly tell the pictures if you looked really closely. You could see this was like clearly fabricated. But but copy, like text on the images, like, you know, puberty, for example, gets me that's an Instagram account. And it gets me, it fools me all the time with news, like poorly framed news headlines. Like it gets me all the time. And you know, where you just like, you have to like do more research beyond what they wrote about, because they are by definition kind of like a clickbait. Like they don't make any money.
And I also think it goes along with the point of like, if it's a fact, whether it's true or not, that you align with, you want to believe that that's true, right? So like people wanted to believe that was the hope. So you're gonna believe it, whether you do your research or not, because you want it to be true.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes it's like even even when you're aware of it, like I just described about me, it's like even though you're aware of it, you still get kind of duped. It's really
Yeah,
easy
like you're aware of like the red flags and what to look out for, but again, it still aligns with what you're
Right.
looking for. So you convince yourself that like the other things don't matter.
Yeah. When was the last time that you feel like I'm going off topic here, but I'm just curious. When was the last time that you feel like you got advertised? When were you advertised and then moved to purchase? Like when was the last time that happened? Do you remember?
Christmas probably. I don't like
Christmas.
buying things online.
There was something that you saw an ad for, and then you
Actually no, because I don't buy, like if I see an ad for it, I probably won't buy it. Like actually, honestly, the only thing that I see an ad for and I'll buy are hats for Skylar.
Sure.
That's really the only thing.
Sure.
I don't really get got by like ads, like seeing this on Instagram. Why? I actually really do believe it's because when I was younger, my best friend at the time, her name's Brooke, we would buy things from, do you remember Wish?
Yeah.
Yeah, we would buy things from Wish all the time. All the time. Never got it. Never got it. So like I think I'm ruined by that. And like I know like it's too good to be true. Like, and I used to, and I've seen my mom gets scammed all the time by just like ads not being the right thing. So I just don't, like I don't need it that bad.
Yeah.
If in person I'm gonna buy some stupid stuff, yeah, but online
Yeah.
I'm not annoying. I try not to be.
I get I click on a lot like a Temu ad via like TikTok or something like that. I'll get like a product. I get a lot of those like product ads, people using a product, and like I'll watch the whole video and I'm like, wow, that is kind of an interesting product or whatever, and I'll click on it. But I think of Temu as sort of like the dollar store. Like it's like, you know, anything you buy, it's just gonna be the worst, absolute worst quality, you know, disposable goods at best, you know. So I mean, I haven't been like fooled because a lot of times it's like an electronic or something, and I'm like kind of interested in it, but I'm you know too afraid. I think, like you said, I've been burned enough times where like especially like internet advertising. Well, also we were both of us work in the industry,
Yeah.
so
I was
I
gonna say
know.
part of it too is I just ignore the ads. Like if
Yeah,
something's sponsored, I purposely scroll past it because I know if I stop and look at it, that's all my ads will be about. So I just
I remember
ignore them.
my first time where I remember like feeling like this ad made me want to buy it was the Nissan Frontier. They had this ad where they were playing Stone Temple Pilots, and I was about 17 or something like that when that ad came out, maybe 16. And I just remember thinking like this must be exactly for me, like for me and for like 4 years around my age, because that was the right band, the right time. I was getting, you know, it was like I already had a car, but this was like the first time like buying a real car. Oh, you know, I bought like a cheap beater car first, you know, and then so it was like getting this like nicer car, and I just got really sold by the ad. I thought it was really good, and I don't remember it happening very often ever since then. I think every other time it's been either like subtle awareness advertising or like, you know, movies and places like that will get me. But I do feel a little bit like anytime I see an ad, I'm like, I see what you're doing, and it almost turns me off. Like if someone's advertising too much, which is funny because obviously
It's
I
funny
work
you
with
say that
this.
one. So this one I was gonna wait and show this TikTok until later, but I think it goes
Well,
well
here
with
we're
what you
there.
said about like being okay, cool.
Let's
About
jump.
being served like the perfect, just like you something up your avenue that like really relates to you. This one came out in the Masters. First of all, I would like to, before I play it, I would like to just highlight how well the Masters media team is doing this year, because last year they waited until like the actual week of the event to market anything, and they did really well, but I think they were just a little late to the game. People want to see more of the Masters. People love the Masters, and this year they started about a month out. So I've been seeing some of this stuff. So I think they've done a really good job this year, but this is my favorite video and it just came out this morning.
Moment you've been waiting for.
That's what it is. And one of my favorite comments is, oh, it's not gonna let me see the comments. Dang it. one of my favorite comments was like the way to summon an entire generation. Because
Yeah.
as soon as I was like, oh, SpongeBob, like, this is so
Yeah.
good. And
Yeah.
so I don't know, I think they're doing a really good job of catering to their target market and like the memes, the history of what we think is funny. So I thought they did a really good job with that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I knew right away, but I only know through my son. But I'm a
I love
tad too
SpongeBob.
late here, but yeah, my son loves it for sure. All right, I got one that I want to share. I'm excited to share here. All right, so this one, have you seen this? Do you recognize it already?
I don't think so.
Okay, so this was like really popular. Hopefully you can hear it. We'll see.
I can't hear it, but it's okay.
Oh, you can't?
You have to send it to me on actual TikTok. But you heard mine when mine played?
Yeah.
What the heck?
Dang. Well, it's this French woman, and she's trying to do the that I can't remember who it is, Kendrick Lamar, I think, or
oh yeah,
bing bop boom bop bing bop bam, and she's trying to like do it, and I just think it's like the most heartwarming video. Like it's so charming. She's trying really hard, and at the end, here, I gotta play even without the sound. You got to see this face at the end. It's just so funny, and it went like super viral. I don't know what this is at, but several million views. There, so the tongue, and I like this face at the end. Oh my god, it just makes me laugh so hard.
She's trying.
Yeah, she was trying really hard. She was doing her best. Out there. All right, you got one more?
Yeah, I have one more. This is one. Well, I think this one is a very interesting trend. I don't know if you've seen any of them, but they're the "I'm bored, tell me blah blah blah," and it's just a picture of their face with text on the screen, and it's just asking people to comment, and they're doing so well. Like this one specifically. Why does it keep doing that? 428,000 likes. So I can only imagine the views. Let's go here. I'll pause it. It's just, I'm bored. Tell me your family's catchphrases. Oh, it's not going to let me see the comments. I'll have to pull them up on my phone really fast.
Yeah, can you send it to me? I
comments are the best. Yeah. Uno momento.
All right, I'm going to share mine while you're pulling that up.
Okay.
Because I want to share. This is my. So this one is a little bit self. I'm doing this sort of for a selfish reason. This is my friend Giorgio. But I want to one of the coolest things I think about this is his use of the slideshow and the like use of space. So Giorgio's thing is that he does these like little monsters, and they're awesome. He's been doing them forever. I know him from we used to Snapchat back and forth a long time ago. He would draw these in Snapchat, and so crazy. I just want, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, honestly. In a second, I'll pull up his account, but like, so what I wanted to point out though is just like his use of this slideshow and like
the scroll, yeah,
I think it's so good, and it really just makes you want to keep swiping. I just think it's really, really cool and really smart, and I just thought it was really good. It was a cool new. He just posted this comic this morning or something, a little bit ago, and that's when cool. I was trying to think of things to talk about, I thought, man, this is so rad. And I've been really into like Instagram comics over the last couple of years. I think it's like a cool kind of medium for that kind of thing. And then just this, speaking of weird niche corners of the internet, this is Giorgio. So this is like some of his best work I think he did on this project. Just watching this from afar, he did this exhibit. This is a QR code behind him, and you could like. These characters would, I think, come alive in the, like, I think from his story, they would like come into the space once you scan the QR code. Cool. He does these like drawings in like on a real life picture.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Like rat pictures. When I think it was my daughter was born, he drew a picture of like a monster with me and my family.
Oh,
on the picture. It was just really, really rad. He's a really cool guy. Really cool guy. All right, that's what I got. That's all my
I think so. That's
internet.
pretty cool. I like that you mentioned like you liking the Instagram being used for comics in a similar way. I think a lot of are like the feminine opposite of that is a lot of girls use that kind of same feature with like the connecting the photos and stuff to make like digital scrapbooks of their Instagram. And they go to Canva, they put the little like newspaper scrapping, they put a little button in the corner. So it's just cool ways to use the different features of Instagram in a different way, you know.
Is there a way to do that? Do you know how to do that on Canva
Yeah.
where you could
Not
set
Canva, I
yourself
don't
up for
do.
that?
I use
Or-
an app called Scroll, SCRL. And you get so you choose the size that you want, if you want it to be your story or a regular post or landscape, and then you choose how many pages you want it to be, and then you get to insert however many photos and do all that stuff. I think you can add text and stuff too.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, I think I've definitely seen a lot of artists that like use their picture like in wide frame, and then you can kind of scroll between the picture like that. I think is always cool, but anytime that's something I just always, I guess a personal preference of mine is I love it when someone can use creative use of the tool, and I think that's what that is to me.
For sure.
All right, you were sending me something, or you got it?
Oh yeah, I sent it to you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, on your phone. But I just think it's interesting that like one of the harder forms of engagement to get is people to comment and like care about your posts. So to see these posts go so right, like this one has 45,000 comments. That's a lot of freaking comments. And it's just like your family's catchphrases. But me personally, this was one of my favorite videos because I was like in tears laughing at some of how. Oh, I sent you on TikTok. Sorry.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Oh, okay. Excellent. That's actually even easier because I have TikTok pulled up.
Logged in so you can see the comments. Sweet.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to memorize some of these catchphrases so that I can use them.
All right. Let me I got it up here. Let me All right, I'm bored. Tell me your catchphrases, the ones you've heard a million times. Put that in needlepoint. Okay. Oh, I love this already.
Call me if you need any
Call me
problems.
if you need any problems. That's good. That is good. I like that one a lot. It's not like I was ever going to fit back in that prom dress. Oh man, that's such a good dad joke. That's a solid dad joke. If you tell my mom you have a question, she'll go, yes, they're real. Haha, that's funny. I love a boob joke. Gotta have funeral pictures every time he takes a photo. That's funny. That's a good one. Oh, I'm definitely stealing that one. These are good. Oh, these are good. My dad just looking for a parking spot. Oh, that's a great one. Definitely going to steal that for sure. Wave to the peasants anytime my dad.
Wave to the peasants. I think that's so good.
When my uncle leaves a family dinner, he always says, glad you got to see me. Oh, that is great.
This one's good.
Who issued the parade permit? My grandma, anytime there's more cars on the road, she likes. Oh, that's great. They'll never sell ice cream going that fast. Oh man. That's awesome. That's a great one. That's a great one to check out. I love it when they get like you just said, like, you know, getting people to comment on your stuff. It's like
buy into it. Like,
yeah, like on Facebook, sometimes I see that where like sometimes you see it and it goes really well. Like my friend Alden Edmond, he'll post things that are like sort of controversial questions or whatever, and he'll have like 1,000 comments on, you know, sometimes there's like 0 likes, a few angries,
clickbait,
and then like 20,000 comments. and he's really good at it. But then other people that I've seen, you know, you come across one where they've asked a question and they asked it 3 days ago and no one's responded.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like, I think that's like my fear of that sort of like strategy is like having that post where, you know, you say like, tell me your ideas, and there's 0 responses. That's like the worst of those. This is a good idea. That is a good one. And like
it worked out. But
if
like,
I did that on Facebook,
it
I don't
worked
know
out
that
because she was the first one. What's not going to work are people who take that and milk it for all that it's because they saw her be successful at it, and then they're just going to take it and run with it. It already was successful. It's probably not going to reach that peak success again.
Yeah, a diminishing return every time it gets posted. Literally, there is one that will do really well, and then all the rest of them will do less and less and less. And less, and less. All right. Well, I feel like that's some good niche corners of the internet. We went over 30 minutes. Not as good as our last one. We didn't go a full hour, but we do have some work to do, and I was late, so we got to jump out of it. But thanks everyone for tuning in, and glad we made it for the morning meeting.
Yes, sir.